With every day we get closer to GTA 6, and that has brought about another update from the GTA mapping community for GTA 6. But what is going on, guys? It is Ketch back with another video on the channel. If you're new around here, don't forget to give this one a like and subscribe on the channel, as it really helps the channel grow. Trying to get to 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible, so any help would be greatly appreciated. But let's get into this latest update from the GTA mapping community. So here it is, ladies and gentlemen, the latest mapping concept done by Reddit user Sonaris. There is obviously the mapping concept team led by Dupsaw, who did the really cool mapping design, and another mapping concept done by Giannis as well. Now this map is massive by comparison. It is so big, and there's a lot of detail on this. Not as much detail as the Dupsaw mapping concept from what they've done from the mapping team. Now obviously if we look here, we obviously have the middle of the map, sort of the middle to the top middle of the map, with Mount Caliga National Park and the little town of Red Hill. Wouldn't be surprised if Red Hill is like a little town where Jason may have grown up, potentially. I have no idea if that's right, but as you can see, Mount Caliga is very similar to Mount Chiliad. There's a lot of open space up there. We obviously have the military base quite far up north this time, as opposed to it being on the western side of the map as it was in GTA 5. We do then have the abandoned town and the abandoned mine shaft. There could be a mission that sort of spawns out that way. We have like a lot of rivers that sort of connect from the sort of sea into this area around Mount Caliga National Park, which I think is really cool. I think, you know, just having little bits and pieces sort of connecting to Mount Caliga National Park will be amazing. Obviously we have the left hand side of Port Gellhorn with Draper Island in the back, and a lot of interesting parts up near the top. Now when I looked at this section of the map, this reminded me of that section on the left side of the Los Santos map that takes you up to Paleto Bay. Just that little section in the top left, but not so much else. And obviously we can see from down the bottom there's a road that connects that sort of section to Draper Island to the rest of Port Gellhorn, and even to Mount Caliga National Park as well. So like one map that goes the whole way around. And then we come in further, we obviously have more of Mount Caliga National Park as well. We have a little mine shaft in the sort of middle bottom, I guess you could say. And then obviously to the right of the map we have St. Joseph, which is obviously doesn't have much detail to it because we don't know too much about it. We do have the Sarah station as well, which actually looks pretty cool for me. When I saw this, it looks very similar to the Humane Labs, which is really off to the eastern side of the Los Santos map in GTA 5. Obviously I mentioned the quarry, which might have windmills, very similar to how GTA 5 has that in Blaine County. And then we sort of move down, go past the massive Lake Leonardo. It looks big on this mapping concept. I would assume it looks even better in game if this map is to be believed. Now obviously we've got Ambrosia and the Forgotten Coast to the left of the map as we continue our way down. The Forgotten Coast has like a sort of beach curvature to it, so I wouldn't be surprised if that's one of the beaches we go to as well. But obviously Ambrosia is quite detailed, it has a lot going for it. And then as we move more towards the right of the map, as we're getting into Vice City, we can see the Waning Sands, Washington, Vice Beach and South Beach, which is where I think there will be a lot of action in GTA 6. A lot of missions will probably spawn in the sort of city part of the map, which is going to be really cool, but that's sort of contingent with how GTA 5 was as well. There are a lot of missions spawning in the middle of the map. And I obviously think South Beach being so popular in mainstream culture, I would think this would feature heavily in trailer 3 if we even get a trailer 3. And I think the other interesting part about the middle of this map is how all the roads sort of connect out of Vice City International Airport, which suggests to me that it's going to be quite an important location for the story. I think, you know, Jason and Lucia's backstory may also have a part to play. And then even as we move down, we can see the Leonardo Department of Corrections. Now we obviously know this is in the game from trailer 1 and trailer 2, Lucia being in prison. We don't necessarily know for what crime as of yet, but as we see, we've got the Hamlet Raceway and the Hamlet Nuclear Power Plant, which I found was pretty cool addition if this mapping concept is to be believed. I think, you know, having a nuclear power plant gives just a little bit more detail than we didn't really get in the GTA 5's map. But obviously, you know, having 12 years in between GTAs has obviously given Rockstar a lot of time to get detailed and more creative with what they could potentially put in a map. But do have to give credit to Sonaris for this mapping concept. It is phenomenal. And as we come further down to Gator Bay and the Grass Rivers, obviously a lot of water in this area, lots of gators as well, and then shifting sort of back up and down as well. You know, it's just a real indicator of how sort of detailed the sort of middle slash top half of the map is versus the bottom where the grass rivers is. I think there will be a lot of missions that take part in the grass rivers. Obviously the smuggling routes somehow might work their way in there if this map is to be believed. But the thing I mentioned earlier is it's just how connected Vice City is to the rest of the map. You know, all the roads sort of lead out of Vice City, up through Lake Leonida to Mount Callaghan National Park, to St. Josephine and Port Gilhorn, all the way up even to the military base. You could literally probably take one road that goes from Vice City all the way up to the military base, which I think was pretty cool. And then as we come further down here, we've got Gator Key, Key Lento, Sundown Key, just like more sort of island locations for GTA 6. We obviously have Seaview, a little town as well, which would be pretty cool, and some hillbilly lands, just where my cursor was a second ago. I think obviously having the hillbillies will form part of GTA 6 at some stage, I would think. I think gang warfare will also come in as part of it as well. You know, the sort of Cuban gangsters versing off against the hillbillies, versing, you know, the people who are up sort of near that Mount Callaghan National Park, and even sort of out near the Red Hill area as well. And you know, obviously the military base is quite far, which I found was quite interesting from the sort of civilized area, whereas in GTA 5 it was off to the sort of left of the map, so it was still part of the city, but you sort of had to go out of the city to get to the military base in GTA 5. So I think it's going to be a really interesting map for GTA 6. We obviously don't really know what form it's going to take, but from what we've seen from the mapping project team led by Dupsaw, and then this concept from Sonaris, we can probably assume that it's probably going to be a really detailed map. And that's just from stuff we can take from trailer 1 and 2. You know, we don't even have trailer 3 as of yet, and so I think that's going to be really cool. I did see a lot of questioning around sort of whether the Florida Panhandle would be in GTA 6. Now, we don't know for sure, but we do have leaks that Game Roll brought out a while back saying that the Panhandle would not be in GTA 6, which is kind of sad. You know, I feel that the Panhandle would be quite a useful addition to the GTA 6 map, but it looks like it might not be part of it. I do still sort of hold some hope that the Florida Panhandle will be part of the GTA 6 map, but I guess only time will tell. With all that being said, I think obviously GTA 6 is obviously going to be a phenomenal game, and I think whatever map we do eventually get from Rockstar will probably be a combination of all the mapping concepts we have so far. So we have the one by Giannis, we obviously have this one by Sonaris, and of course the mapping project team led by Dupsaw. I do think Rockstar will probably combine all three of those into one and just make an insane map for the GTA community to experience and to enjoy for so long. And given, I reckon, the size of GTA and given the size of the maps we've seen so far, we're going to be literally exploring this map for probably the first year or so of GTA 6, just trying to get to grips with it and seeing how we understand it and what parts of the map are sort of better than others. Obviously more parts of the map, specifically around the city, will be more enjoyable than others, and obviously, you know, certain parts might not be as enjoyable. I do think the whole Mount Callaghan National Park and near the military base will be points of interest when the game definitely launches, for sure, because they were videos that were released at the start of GTA 5's game cycle, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see that in GTA 6's game cycle launch as well. But that has been the end of this video, guys. I hope you have enjoyed. Let me know what you think of Sonaris' mapping project in the comment section down below, and let me know if you want me to cover more mapping projects in the future. They are actually really enjoyable to record, but do let me know in the comments. But with that, guys, I will leave you to it. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you with another video very soon. Have a good one, guys. See ya. Bye bye.